Hello, my name's Dan Fry, and I'm the director and founder of HelpNet Employee Assistance Program. HelpNet has the privilege and honor of serving your organization with our employee assistance and work-life services. I am joined by resident EAP expert Kim McAuliffe. Kim is a senior account manager at HelpNet, and she brings a wealth of experience and expertise by way of training, coaching, management consultation, and account management services to organizations throughout the state of Michigan and the United States. In the next few minutes, Kim and I are going to be addressing the following topics. What is an employee assistance program? Who is eligible to use it? What types of issues can individuals receive help for? Who will know that individuals are using the service? What does it cost? And finally, how do I access care? And in addition, we're also going to be spending a few minutes talking about the Work-Life website, which is a resource that provides a robust suite of work-life services to employees and their dependents. So Kim, let's begin. Let's begin with the basic. This thing called EAP, this benefit, EAP, what is an employee assistance program?
Well, simply, employee assistance programs assist employees and their immediate family members for issues that are either going to cause the employee stress while they're at work and or inordinate amounts of time in finding reliable and trusted resources. Dan, you know from studying employee assistance programs historically that 40 years ago, they used to be known as just a program to help people with substance abuse and psychiatric illnesses. But today, that couldn't be further from the truth. 90% is a conservative estimate of people that use HelpNet will use it for some kind of issue that's causing them, the employee, or their family members stress. And it's normal concerns.
And it is true that what goes on in our personal lives and what goes on in our professional lives are not independent silos, but in fact, there's crossover, and that what's sometimes happening in our personal lives are brought into the workplace and vice versa. All the more reason to have this thing called EAP. Who's eligible to use the service?
We define eligibility by any employee and then their immediate family members, which we define is anyone living in the employee's home and or covered on their insurance or their spouse's insurance. So that can include an adult child who might be away from college, but because they're still on their parents' insurance, they're covered. And it also covers elderly parents that are also might be living in their home.
Even the live-in relationships have access to the care too. So it could be a boyfriend, could be a girlfriend, could be an aunt or uncle. They also have access to the service.
If they live in the house, absolutely. And you know, it's not unusual for employees to call us, not for counseling, but just sometimes for a consultation, 1 or 2 time consultation. So it's almost like they have this myriad of consultants at their fingertips.
So tremendous benefit. What types of issues can people receive help for?
Okay, so the first thing that comes to my mind is employees will call for because they're going through a divorce. And yet the reason they call more often than not is because they want advice on how they need to handle this divorce process in the very best way for either their school-aged children or their teenage children. So we get calls quite frequently about marriage issues, family issues, and divorce issues, along with people that have problems legally, financially, people that experience problems with depression, which the USA Today came out with not too long ago stating how many employees in the United States suffer from depression and don't do anything about it because they don't know where they can go confidentially to get assistance with us. We help employees with elder care issues. Wow, very stressful, time-consuming, trying to find the proper resources, child care centers, and again, substance abuse.
Yeah, and we get a fair amount of calls from people dealing with loss issues and grief
Yes.
because they've lost a loved one.
Yep.
So Kim, we've talked about the types of issues that people can receive help for. who's going to know that an individual has used the program?
Absolutely no one, unless the employee tells somebody. And yet that's probably the hardest concept to get across, because people will say, well, does the company know that you're confidential? Yes, the company signed on with us knowing that we were not going to be able to provide any information about any employee that contacts us without the employee's written consent. And even the reports we send back to the companies are generic reports on how many women and how many men, if that, depending on the size of the company. And state and federal law mandates that we cannot tell anyone who's used our program without written consent. However, for every rule there's an exception, and confidentiality is no different. There are exceptions in the sense of if someone admits to or threatens child abuse, elder abuse, homicide, or suicide, we are obligated as licensed professionals to report those to the authorities.
So the program is confidential, and it's interesting because a lot of employees will go back into the workplace, so to speak, and tell everybody but their brother and sister that they've used it. And I think that's great because that means they haven't attached any shame or embarrassment to it.
Yes.
What's it cost?
If you catch a problem quickly, absolutely no out-of-pocket expense. No copay, no out-of-pocket. So if an employee can catch a concern that can be adequately addressed within, let's say, up to 5 sessions, absolutely free because, again, it's an employer-paid benefit.
So no copay, no deductible, free.
Free.
What a great resource. What a great benefit. And finally, Kim, we've talked about what's it going to cost, but okay, I'm finally ready and I want to use the service. I've reached that point in my life that, okay, let's do this. How do I access care?
Hopefully in every organization there are brochures available to employees along with wallet cards that they can pick up with no one seeing, so that, again, that can help with confidentiality. And all they have to do is call the 1-800 number, which is 1-800-969-6162. Easy.
And by the way, in the Kalamazoo, Michigan area, that 800 number is a little bit different. It's 800-523-0591. Kim, we've talked about the counseling services that are available, but there's also another track of services that employees and dependents and live-in relationships have access to, and that's this work-life website. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, and we have a lot of services for employees that may never need counseling, so it's good to remind employees of other benefits. Our legal benefit is probably the second most frequently used, where an employee calls us needing an attorney with a expertise in a certain area. We refer them to a local attorney. They get 30 minutes free, either in person or on the phone with this attorney, to find out what the attorney can help them with. And then if they decide to retain this attorney, they get 25% off their normal fee. And people use that a lot. And then there's the financial part of the program, which is a telephonic consultation with financial experts to help employees with any kind of credit card debt that they may be experiencing.
Bill consolidation.
Right,
Yeah.
financial issues like that, which, as we all know, if you've got credit card debt and you're stressing about that, that can really impact your job performance at work.
And cause you many sleepless nights.
Yes, it does.
So this financial resource is also part of the package.
Right.
How about identity theft recovery?
Yes, where people can sign up to help prevent identity theft, which today is a very important benefit to have.
Mm-hmm. Can you talk about the resources that are actually on the WorkLife website that
Right.
people might be interested in?
It is filled with articles around all kinds of different areas, family areas, work area, health and wellness, elder care, again, children's services, where there is just a myriad of webinars, skill builders, which is under a new location on our website right now. It's under what we call centers. So if employees will go to the part of the website that says centers, they're going to find skill builders, they're going to find a savings center, which is a program where people can save money buying things that they need. They just get it at a better cost. Along with care space for any employee that is experiencing the stress of being a caretaker. It's a venue, if you will, of like-minded caretakers that help each other with the stress, just filled with things. So when anybody wants to access our work-life web, they just go to HelpNet's website at www.helpneteap.com and go to the work-life web. The link to that is in the upper right-hand corner, and you will then be asked to put in your user ID and password. If you don't know what your user ID or password is, you can either call us at 1-800-969-6162, and we will give you that information. Or if you don't mind talking to an HR person at your company, you could also ask them.
And even every month there's webinars which are free, and there's the third Tuesday of the month, and then you sign up for those, again, off of our website, and it's either a 12 o'clock or a 2 p.m. time slot. They're about 1 hour in length. But again, they're free, and there's a wealth of topics that are very germane to maybe what's going on in individuals' lives or in individuals' workplaces. So do indeed check out the work-life webinars. So in conclusion, life is not always rainbows and butterflies. Life can be difficult. Certainly life can be challenging. I am reminded of an analogy that was used by a now retired HelpNet psychologist, a gentleman by the name of Bill Heffernan, or Hef, if you will. And Hef would talk about this invisible knapsack that we carry over our shoulders as we journey through life. And as we experience the heartache and the anguish and the sleepless nights and the heavy hearts, we begin to stuff those issues into this invisible knapsack. And life being what it is, inevitably, that knapsack gets full. And when it does, there's leakage, or if you will, seepage. It can impact our physical health, it can impact our emotional health, our spiritual health. An alternative to stuffing the stress of life into the knapsack is HelpNet Employee Assistance Program, a confidential sanctuary where individuals can go and unburden themselves and talk privately with a master's level state licensed counselor. And we promise you this: if you provide the desire, we'll provide the assistance. Thank you.